see a German women's pair in here. I'm surprised they made the final, but okay, so here's Emily Ford and Esme Booth from Leander Club, both Osman 28. Emily's brother Tom won the H yesterday. Esme Booth, the 24-year-old in the stroke seat, 5th in the world last year. They're doubling up in the women's 8 to come down the track. So the Djurkovic twins, Ivana in the bow seat and Josipa. And these guys won. No, they didn't win in Zagreb. They were 3rd in Zagreb. So these two women will be coming down the track in the women's 8 later on. The Romanians, Iona Vrăjineu, the 29-year-old Roxana Ankel, and also the fast Netherlands pair, Veronique Meester in the stroke seat, Inke Cleveling behind them, silver medalists in the Tokyo Olympics in the women's 4. These guys had to come through the repechage, a new combination, Esther Briz Zamora, but the ever familiar, the evergreen Anya Sid in the bow seat. They did win in Zagreb 3 weeks ago. And the two German athletes, Hannah Reif in the stroke seat from Frankfurter Rudergesellschaft and Lena Sarissa from Krefelder Ruder Club in Germany. Just 23 years old, the two Germans. Great to see a German crew in the final.
Yeah, great to see a German crew in the final. Great to see a nice, clean getaway. As you said, Martin, those Djurkovic twins raced at that first World Cup on home waters in Croatia and would have been a little bit disappointed in the way that they didn't race to their absolute best. They were beaten by these two, the Spanish on that occasion. But here we are in the final of this European Championships.
Germans doing well early doors, and you know, German women's rowing has really suffered. I think the German women, was it Stephanie Weremeyer back in '94? Did they win the pair that year, or was it '93?
Yeah, but looking at the Germans, they're not really opening the shoulders up. It's very front-ended at this point of the race, not quite getting the bodies through and accelerating. See a little bit more length here from those Djurkovic sisters.
Yeah, and they've really found their mojo since the Zagreb World Cup. Disappointing for them not to be out in front, but they found a real turn of speed here. The Djurkovic twins, Emily Ford and Esme Booth, just to their right at the top of the screen, bout number 1. Djurkovic twins lead out, but it's all fairly close at the moment.
It's a great start, isn't it? Because you've got some early starts who've gone for it. Maybe the Germans on this side, the Croatians on that far side, but you can kind of feel the rhythm and the pace in the centre as well.
Yeah, I love the flat draw of the Dutch. You know, in terms of the front end, they had that in the 4, which got the silver medal, and it's beautiful to watch. Real sort of example, I think, to any young oarsmen or oarswomen watching just how to draw the blade through the stroke.
It's a familiar sort of relaxed look, isn't it, we see on the crews from the Netherlands. They don't look like they're working as hard as others. We know they are. You know, this looks like you can really kind of see the work going on in that sort of middle third of the stroke. The blades get locked in. They whack it pretty hard through the middle. Likewise here, I just wonder how steady the boat looks. You know, we're in difficult water and all the athletes are having to deal with this. And the boat isn't just moving along smoothly. You feel the water bumping around in these kind of conditions.
Yeah, that's Roxana Angel in the stroke seat of the pair, coping with those difficult conditions. And, you know, before coming into this regatta, she said the biggest challenge of her season was going to be racing for the first time in international competition in a pair. So, big day for Roxana, the 25-year-old, stroke of the Romanian boat, currently in 2nd place.
Yeah, and this drone shot that you see coming around the castle here in Bled and then coming down just shows you the scale of the lake and why you need those good boat skills, because it's not like a little contained strip of water. It's quite a big lake, which, as you say, there's quite a big swell on it, and why having experience in a small boat is useful. And we're seeing it, this shot now is showing us that the Netherlands, with that low, flat, calm, quiet draw that you spoke about, has just eased them into a strong position here in the second 500.
They're coached by the former Canadian oarswoman Michelle Darville, who has gone over from Canada to live in the Netherlands. Of course, she coached the Canadian 8 to Olympic gold in Tokyo. There is Roxana in the stroke seat. Behind her, Iona Vinchneu. More experienced athletes. The Dutch have that 2/3 of a boat length lead over the Romanians. The British yet to figure, but in lane 2, the Croatians hanging in there for a medal.
But just look how easy that is at the finish. Just the way the handle just comes in and comes out, and it's no extra effort. Doesn't look like hard work in that Netherlands boat.
Yeah, which actually, and it's a great contrast between the way you see the Jerkovic there. You know, Josipa Jerkovic closest to her, she really does look like she's working that stroke, and it's not as fluid as the Dutch.
Yeah, just looking to the bottom right there, the Spanish pair, I'm thinking they're the ones who'll force their way up into that bronze medal race with the Croatians. But at the front of the field here, the Netherlands doing their best to handle the slightly tricky conditions. But having that kind of relaxation means you can feel the bumps a little bit and it doesn't throw you off so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess they've been rowing on a big lake up at altitude over the last 3 weeks, and they'll be used to little swells on the lake maybe. I'm not sure which of these athletes have been rowing on a big lake. The Jerkovic twins be rowing on the Zagreb course. And, well, where are the Spanish? You can see them just under the graphics. Anya Sid and Estebris Zamoro. Anya Sid, she is an expert in children's motor development. And she was a Tokyo Olympian in the women's pair. I think finished 6th. But still, the Jerkovic twins, you've got to admire their pace. They're so aggressive, aren't they? Just through the middle of the stroke, and that's just keeping their bows ahead of Sid and Brizamoro from Spain.
Well, we're going to see their bow ball to bow ball really here with 500 to go. Like you say, the Croatian pair just hanging on to the bronze right now.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you had to bet some money, you'd go Spain in this last 500 for the bronze medal, wouldn't you?
I think a bit of motor development in the last 500 is what they're going to deliver. And if they can find that, having been slightly off the pace earlier on, whether they will be able to go with the pace of the Croatians on the left. But no, the Jerkovic sisters are hanging on to that position. They're at 41 strokes a minute, the Spanish at 39 strokes a minute.
So we're going to be wrong, Greg. Look at the pain on the face of Josipa Jerkovic in the stroke seat there.
And how about the move from the Romanians back again here?
This is it. Now, we've talked about the Romanian sprint, and they are edging back on the Dutch. Personally, I think the Dutch have got enough to hold this, and they are really strong athletes. They just lost out to the Australians for the gold medal in the Tokyo Olympics. It was a very close race.
But they're handling difficult conditions. You can see the waves on the side of the boat. Any false stroke now, even there was just a little one for Meister and Cleverling, and that's let the Romanians keep coming back. The Romanians are rating higher, 46 strokes a minute.
They shortened up, Greg, but they did it together. They really jumped and they did it together. What have the Dutch got? Oh my goodness, we're both going to be wrong. The Romanian sprint has been unleashed. The Tigers been let out of the cage, and it's Vinchenau and Angel.
You're right, Martin. Fantastic move from the Romanians. Here we go, coming down to the line.
So it is Romania. Gold medal for them in the women's pairs. A fabulous sprint from Romania yet again. They take the gold. The Dutch take the silver. Who will take the bronze? It is the Spanish. We were right about that. The Croatians, heartbroken. That's such an effort they put in. Crossed the line in 4th place. Just shows you can't really, you know, predict anything in these races that are European.